The estate shimmered under cascading fairy lights, the scent of roses and wine filling the air. Elegant laughter rippled through the crowd of politicians, businessmen, and high society, the powerful and the corrupt standing side by side, hiding secrets behind their tuxedos and polite smiles. You stood in the center, a vision in silver silk, your family's heirloom ring on your finger, a symbol of legacy, a symbol of a future you weren't sure you wanted. The cameras clicked, flashes went off, and beside you, Theon gripped your hand tightly, not like a lover but like a man trying to anchor something slipping through his fingers. He looked perfect, calm, composed, but you knew Theon better than anyone. You felt the tremor in his hand, you saw the twitch in his jaw when you smiled at the guests, a smile that didn't reach your eyes. His head turned slightly, leaning closer to your ear. Are you not happy? He asked softly, a forced smile still plastered on his face for the cameras. You didn't reply because you didn't know, and that silence, that 1 second of doubt in you, it cracked something in him. His hand gripped yours harder. You're not saying anything, he muttered, smile still fixed as he greeted another guest. Why aren't you saying anything? You just blinked, your smile faltering. He noticed, he always noticed. That's what made it worse. Just a little longer, he said again through clenched teeth, pretending to wave at someone across the garden. Smile for your parents, for the press, for me. You nodded slightly, lips stretching again, but Taeyong's mind was spiraling. He knew you, he could read you. And tonight you weren't with him. Not really. He didn't want to admit it, but he felt it. A shadow lurking just beneath your quiet demeanor. A fear, a storm, and he was right because then the music stopped. Guests turned, conversations halted, the air grew cold, and there he was, John Jungkook, moving through the crowd like he owned the earth beneath his feet. Dressed in black, sharp as a blade, his smirk as dangerous as the silence he dragged in with him. Taeyong straightened, pulling you slightly behind him. What the hell is he doing here? He hissed. You were frozen, your heart dropped. Jungkook's eyes were already on you, not Taeyong, not the crowd. Just you. He walked towards the raised platform where you both stood, every step echoing with power. Is this how the world celebrates betrayal now? Jungkook said, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. Murmurs erupted across the estate. Your father moved to intercept him, voice sharp. John Jungkook, this is a family event. You weren't invited. Jungkook raised a hand and your father froze. I wouldn't speak if I were you. Jungkook said, eyes never leaving yours. Not when we both knew what deal you made with me. Your stomach dropped. What deal? You whispered almost to yourself. Jungkook's eyes softened just for a second when he looked at you. She doesn't know? He asked, glancing at your father. You sold her future to me to save your empire. You thought I would never call it in, but I am. The crowd gasped. You looked at your father, his face pale, tight, angry, your world tilted. You are lying, Taeyang said, stepping forward. This is my fiancé. You can't just show up, can't I? Jungkook finally looked at him, voice cold. He stepped up the stairs, standing just inches from you both now. Let me make this simple. You put a ring on her finger. He rolled up his sleeve, slowly revealing a faint, long scar near his wrist. A name was tattooed beside it. Your name. I put her name in my blood. You stared, eyes wide and frozen. Jungkook turned towards you. You once saved me when we were children. You held my hand when I was bleeding. Do you remember? Your lips parted. A flash of memory hit you. A boy crying, heard hiding behind your family house when you were little. You had cleaned his wounds. You had given him your favorite toy. You had told him to stop crying. I do, you whispered. You said, don't worry, I'll protect you. Jungkook smiled, but it was sad. You forgot, I didn't. There was deadly heavy silence. After that, you think this engagement will stop me? Jungkook's voice turned darker. She smiled in a way no ring can ever erase. He looked at Taeyong one last time. You have the crowd, I have her soul. Let's see which one matters now. Then he turned to you, eyes burning into yours. Come with me, or stay here and lie to yourself for the rest of your life. Everyone stared, your chest ached. This moment would change everything. Taeyong stepped in front of you, his voice sharp but quiet enough for only you to hear. Don't believe him. He said, his grip tightening on your wrist. He's twisting everything. He's dangerous, you know that. Your father was suddenly beside you too, voice low, eyes flickering with panic. He's bluffing. Don't be foolish. Think about your family, about our name. This is just a stunt, a power move. That man will ruin you. Your head was spinning. You looked at Taeyong, the man you were supposed to be safe with, the man your family chose. His eyes begged you to stay, but there was a fire in them too. Not love, just possession. Then you looked at Jungkook. He was just standing there. No yelling, no threats. Just looking at you like he already knew your answer. Like he always knew. You didn't speak, you didn't explain. Your body moved before your mind could ever catch up. Slowly you pulled your hand from Taeyong's and you turned. You stepped towards Jungkook one breath at a time and placed your hand in his. Gasps echoed through the garden. Cameras stopped flashing. The crowd went silent. Father's voice rose in disbelief. What are you doing? Taeyong just stared like the ground had slipped beneath his feet, but Jungkook, he smiled, not arrogantly, not wildly, like a man who had finally gotten back what the world tried to steal from him. He laced his fingers with yours. Good girl. He whispered against your temple, and just like that, he walked you out of that perfect poisonous party like he had already written this ending in his blood years ago. No one dared to stop him because they all knew this wasn't a man claiming love. This was a man claiming what was already his, and you didn't want to run anymore. In the chaos, Jungkook took you with him, not by force, not with threats, but with words. And that hit deeper than any weapon ever could. You didn't fight him, you didn't say anything at all, and that silence was louder than a scream, louder than any plea or goodbye. You walked beside him, hand in his, while the entire crowd froze in disbelief. Gasps filled the night air, but you couldn't hear anything except the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat. Wild, scared, free, Taeyong stood rooted in place. He didn't run after you. He didn't yell your name. He just watched, eyes dark with something between heartbreak and rage. His jaw clenched so tightly you knew he was holding everything in. He watched helplessly as you walked away. He didn't run after you, but he promised vengeance. You'll regret this. Headlines exploded by morning. CEO's daughter runs off with Mafia heir in the middle of engagement ceremony. Taeyong Kim humiliated by the Mafia boss John Jungkook. Secret past revealed. Was the engagement a lie? Entire city was watching, the entire world even, but none of that mattered to your father as he stood in his office, the very room where he once made men bow to him in fear. Now he was the one shaking. Papers were scattered across the floor, wine glass shattered against the wall, your engagement photo burned in the ashtray. She's my daughter, he muttered, voice trembling with anger. She was supposed to carry this family forward. He slammed his fist on the table, and he took her right from under my nose. His right-hand man stood silently watching the storm build. I want him destroyed. I want his empire burned to the ground. I don't care if I have to crawl into the filth of every underground rat's hole. I want John Jungkook ruined. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Taeyong sat in the backseat of his car, still dressed in the suit he wore last night. The tie was gone, his hair was messy, and his heart completely shattered. He stared out the window, jaw clenched, eyes dull. She didn't even say anything, he whispered, not a single word. Beside him, the advisor shifted awkwardly. Sir, perhaps she was manipulated. This Jungkook, he's dangerous. I know what he is. He's a snake in a tailored suit, and he thinks he is one. He leaned forward, voice low but lethal. We'll show him what it feels like to lose everything. Sir, are you saying? I want every deal he has made ruined, Taeyong said coldly. Pull my stocks from any company tied to him. Freeze every account we can touch. Contact the Yakuza, the Russians, I don't care. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling sharply. She chose him, he muttered. She chose him over me. There was a beat of silence. She'll watch him fall, and when he's nothing but dust, she'll remember what she left behind. And in the middle of all that rage and plotting, you sat curled up on a velvet couch in Jungkook's penthouse, wrapped in one of his shirts, your knees pulled to your chest. The light outside didn't comfort you. You weren't crying, but you were feeling everything. The weight of what you had done, the people you had hurt, the line you had crossed, and then Jungkook walked in, calm as ever. He looked at you for a long moment before walking over and sitting beside you. You didn't speak, not at first, then you whispered. You know they are coming for us now, right? He looked straight ahead. Let them. You started a war. You said quietly. Jungkook finally turned to you, eyes unreadable. No, Angel, I ended one. You blinked, he leaned in closer. You were never theirs to keep. You faced him bravely, looked straight in his eyes because the world might scared of him, but you weren't. And I want to know how our pasts connect us. The penthouse wasn't a cage, it was marble and glass wide open, where the rest of the world couldn't reach you, couldn't judge you, couldn't touch you, but still it felt like you were being watched because you were. John Jungkook never really left your side. He didn't lock you in, he didn't chain you down, but he didn't let you forget, not for a second, that you were his. Going somewhere? He asked one morning, leaning against the doorframe as you slipped your heels on. You looked up. I was just going for a walk. He tilted his head. Need company? You forced a smile. I need air, not company. Jungkook's lips curved slightly, not offended, not angry, just amused. Still he followed you, always. Days blurred into each other. You weren't used to this kind of silence, the way it crept in after chaos. You fought your thoughts more than you fought him. But it was hard because he was always there, soft when you needed warmth, cruel when you needed fire. He read you like a map he had memorized long ago, and you hated that. You hated how your body reacted when he was near. You hated the way your heart slowed when he touched you like you were glass and burned like you were made of gasoline. You hated him, but more than anything, you hated yourself because you didn't want to hate him. One night it all broke. The storm had been building, a week of pretending, of ignoring the ache inside you. You were sitting in his office, shirt unbuttoned, forearms tense as he scribbled notes, empire on his shoulders. You stood at the door watching him. Why are you like this? You asked quietly. He didn't look up. Like what? You stepped closer, anger tightening your chest. You think this is normal? That you can just take me away, burn down my world, and expect me to be okay? Now he looked up, his jaw tightened. You came to me by your will, sweetheart. Now you are complaining? You laughed bitterly because it was your game. I hate you. His eyes darkened, but he said nothing. I hate you because I don't want to love you. Your voice cracked, and I do. Silence, and then he stood, walked slowly until you were only inches apart. He looked into your eyes not like a lover, but like a storm ready to devour everything in its path. Then stop fighting me, he said quietly. I would rather be hated by you than live in a world where you don't belong to me. That night the lines blurred, the anger, the need, the fire. It wasn't gentle, it wasn't perfect, but it was real. Your lips met his like punishment, your hands tangled in his shirt pulling him down, or maybe pulling yourself in. You couldn't tell anymore. Jungkook held you like you were made to break, but only for him. You didn't know when the shift happened. Maybe it was the night he poured whiskey into a glass and let you sit across from him while he made empire breaking decisions. Maybe it was the morning he taught you how to hold a gun, with your hand inside his, voice calm, fingers steady. Maybe it was when you caught yourself defending him during a call with your father's man. You were no longer just his weakness, You are his weapon now. You felt it before you knew it. Something in the air had changed. Jungkook's men were too quiet, his phone too still, his steps a little too careful, as if even he sensed the storm that was coming. You sat at the edge of the bed that night, watching him dress in black, lacing his watch around his wrist like armor. You are tense, you said quietly. He didn't answer, but he looked at you, that look, the one that always said more than words ever could. You stood, walked to him. What's going on? Nothing I can't handle. He said. His voice was calm, but his eyes weren't. Your gut told you something was wrong, but Jungkook, he always carried the weight of the world on his back without letting it show. You tried not to press further, but later that night, the truth found you. You had been walking past the east hallway heading to the library when you heard it. Two security guards whispering by the corner. Boss said don't let them near her. Not even her father and that bastard Taeyong could get past the gates. You froze, your heart dropped. There was a war happening right now and Jungkook didn't tell you, not to lie but to protect you. You ran, you didn't even remember how your legs moved. All you knew was you couldn't sit in silence anymore. You couldn't wait and wonder while the man who shattered your world and rebuilt it from ashes stood alone in a storm he didn't start. Your lungs burned by the time you reached the outskirts of the estate. The air was thick with smoke, gunshots echoed in the distance, men barked orders, and Jungkook's guards, your guards, lined the path in. And there he was. Jungkook stood at the front, calm amidst the chaos, dressed in black, a pistol in his hand, blood on his sleeve. He was every inch the legend they feared, cold, calculated, deadly. Your heart screamed, Jungkook. You called breathless. His head snapped towards you instantly, eyes widening in shock. Ryan, what the hell are you doing here? I heard them. I heard everything. He rushed towards you furious. You shouldn't be here. You were supposed to stay safe. You grabbed his arm. Don't do that. Don't keep me safe by pushing me out. I'm not leaving. Before another word could pass between you, another voice shattered the air. So this is what it takes for you to run to him. You turn, Taeyong. Face like thunder, tie loose, shirt stained with dust and blood, gun in hand, not to fight the war, but for the man he hated most. His eyes weren't on Jungkook, they were on you. You were standing here worrying about him? Him? He stepped closer, voice rising, while I burn the world for you. Jungkook stepped forward, blocking you with his body, calm and silent like a shadow. Stay out of her. Taeyong laughed, a bitter broken sound. You still think this is about you and me? No, this is about her, and how she chooses you again and again and again. His eyes met yours. You were mine, he screamed. You were mine, Ryan. You stepped from behind Jungkook. No, I was never yours. Don't say that, Taeyong warned, his eyes shaking. I didn't love you. I didn't even want to marry you. You said louder now. You never made me feel loved, Taeyong. I felt trapped, and I hated how you touched me. I was yours to claim, not someone to hold. His jaw locked. You think he's better? You think this monster deserves you more than I do? I don't care about what anyone deserves. You replied, I care about what I want, and it's not you. Taeyong stared, broken, trembling with fury, with heartbreak. I should kill him, he whispered. Jungkook cocked his gun in a flash, stepping forward. You can try. A long silence followed, guns raised, hearts racing, but then Taeyong laughed again, slow, breathless and cruel. Fine, stay with your devil, but don't cry when the fire finally burns you too. And with that he turned and disappeared into the smoke. Jungkook lowered his gun, still staring after him, but you didn't look away from Jungkook. You stepped to him and he pulled you into his arms like the world was ending. Maybe it was, but if it did, at least you chose love, not fear, and you chose him, even in the fire.